One of our favorite friends of the Enid Television Network is Mayor Bill Shewey, and Mayor, we appreciate you being here. Again, this is, you kicked off our show when we very first started 4 years ago. What's your thought about live TV and what we do with news, weather, and sports and stuff like that?
I like it, and I like the studio. It's very concise and
concise is a good word.
Concise and well organized, and you all do a good job in informing Enid of many, many things.
Well, we attempt to really take pride in the community, take pride as City of Enid employees, and present Enid in the best light, and to be informing at the same time. So.
Well, that's the marketing side of it, and you all do a good job of marketing the City of Enid, and we have to do that to survive as a regional center.
Well, the mayor's with us till the end of the show, so we've changed our format up for a little bit, and so Sarah and I will tag team this morning and ask 20 questions here to the mayor.
Fire away.
Yeah,
Good,
thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here, Mayor Shewey. I know you've been our most returned guest, I believe, but this is the first time that I get to be on the show with you as a guest. So it's really nice to have you here this morning.
That's great.
Tell us about some topics that the commission will face this upcoming year, this 2018.
Well, there's always water, there's always Vance Air Force Base, there's always retail, infrastructure, many, many things. It just runs the gamut.
You mentioned a little bit about water, and people from time to time, or residents from time to time, get a little update on the Call Lake Water Project. Sure. Also, during the study session, every couple months, there seems to be a representative of the consulting group that comes and provides an update to the commission, and we broadcast that on Channel 12. What is the latest on the Call Lake Pipeline Project? Because I know people are saying, well, I want to see pipe laying on the ground, or I want to see some dirt moving, or whatever. So
you have to have a little patience. That's going to be...
Is that number one?
2 or 3 years in the future, but it is coming along very nicely. We get an update from somebody from Garver. Garver USA is the company that we have hired to do the installation of the pipeline and all of the buildings and reservoirs. It's a big program, and they keep us updated once a month, and we have a whole stack full of books at home that we can refer to, but they are very good, along with our engineering department, of keeping us updated. We are about 30% of the way through the project.
And it's just amazing that we're talking a pipeline, but we're also talking a pipeline from Call Lake to Enid, Oklahoma. That's a few miles. There's an interstate in the way. There's a few things in the way. It's just hard to imagine this massive engineering project, but it's necessary for Enid, but it's also necessary for Northwest Oklahoma. Wouldn't you agree?
That is exactly right.
You know, it's just not an Enid thing.
No, and it will branch out into the other communities as we move forward. Right. It's about 65 to 70 miles of pipeline, and the real challenge is pumping the water uphill for 65 or 70 miles from Call Lake to Enid. Yeah. The elevation in Oklahoma is higher in the west than it is in the east, so you have to pump it uphill. Yeah. But it's an interesting project, and when I became the mayor, you might have guessed that water would be the #1 program, Vance Air Force Base, retail, and the infrastructure within Enid.
Talking about when you became mayor, I know you've been mayor for a couple of years now, or a few years now. What would be your favorite part, or the best thing about being a mayor?
Well, I've actually been mayor 6.5 years, and the favorite part of it is seeing things come to fruition. As Steve said earlier, you have to have a lot of patience, and we do. We have a lot going on Enid right now, and you get excited about it, but you have so many other projects in between that you have to keep up with, and it requires a lot of reading. So I've done a lot of reading in the last 6.5 years, and I enjoy that part of it. And I enjoy talking to people and listening, and whenever I can help them, I enjoy doing that too.
I think the subtitle for being mayor of Enid, Oklahoma is ambassador for the community, because you meet so many different individuals and you go to Washington, D.C., and you're just that ambassador or representative.
I've been very lucky in that degree because I worked for the Central National Bank for 38 years, and they allowed me the time to go to Washington, D.C. and Oklahoma City and things like that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your partners, if you will, in city government, the councilmen and women that serve with you. What would you say as individuals around the globe, around the state, are watching this interview, and they may see their city government not really, maybe their city councilors are kind of doing stuff like this, but you know, there is a diverse group of individuals on the council, but what is the key ingredient to be successful, to check things off the list, to get things done?
We have a lot of education. The city of Enid provides a lot of education for what needs to be done. We all work together. We don't always agree to 100% when we vote on different areas, and I don't mind that because we're all informed. And as I said earlier, we do see eye to eye on most of the things, and it's kind of a teamwork. And again, it's a lot of reading, but we are educated very well about what we are to vote on.
Okay, very good.
That's the fun part of it.
That's the fun part of it. We'll have more questions for the mayor in just a moment. Just to remind you, it's 7:48 on this Thursday, January 4th, 2018. Sarah, that sounds like such a big number.
Yes, I can't.
2018. Well, anyway, it's here. High today, again, is going to be around 41 degrees currently, holding steady around 17, so bundle the kids up. I think school starts in Enid Public Schools, and I think Derek's boys, do they start today, or are they? Okay, so anyway, Chisholm and other area schools start today. I know Oklahoma City schools are trying to get going. So anyway, back to school for second semester. It's 7:49 here on this Thursday. We'll have more with the mayor. We need to take a short break. We'll be right back.
I'm Nancy Kodrick. I'm the court clerk for the city of Enid, and I belong to the Enid AM2 AMBUT group. We serve those who are in need of mobility, those that are physically challenged. I was encouraged to join this organization by a friend of mine, and once I found out all about what they do and how they provide help for those that are physically challenged, it just fit my compassion and my need to serve in this way. We have 3 AMBUT groups in Enid. We have a men's group, a women's group, and a noon group, and I encourage anybody who wants to serve their community to join one of our groups. It is so satisfying to see the children receive their Amtrikes, and we also provide scholarships for physical therapists. So we would appreciate it, and we would encourage anyone who would like to join.
You know, Steve, right now that you mentioned it's 2018, and then Mayor mentioned he's been the mayor for the last 6 years. I've always said I moved here like 5 years ago, but when I moved here, he wasn't mayor yet. So 5 years was actually like, I guess 7 years ago. So I lived in Enid for like 7 years. I did not know that, so.
I'm sorry, Sarah, that happens to all of us. Whenever we say, oh, it's just been a couple years. But then when you do the math, you realize it's been really 5 years.
Right, it's so surprising.
Yeah.
But talking about time, do you have a timeline that you can share with us regarding the downtown construction?
Look into that crystal ball and just tell us, because we've reached a milestone.
Sure.
And of getting the closing, and so I guess the next stop is get some shovels in the ground?
Yes, the developer, Dr. Patel, has 45 days from, I think it was December the 20th, to begin. And hopefully he will start before that. So if you do the calendar work, start from the 20th of December and go 45 days, he must be started by then. And he probably will beat that time frame, unless we have 20-degree weather for a couple of months. But we're looking forward to it, and it's taken a lot of patience. I became the mayor 6 years ago, and we started working on the very first development for a hotel. So again, it takes a lot of patience, but we're excited about the starting date.
Mayor, let me piggyback a little bit more on
Excuse me. Our engineering department and our city manager are the ones that oversee the development getting started. They keep the city council very well informed as to where we are. In fact, we have an update again tonight on the timeline. So watch the city council meeting at 6:30 tonight, and you'll be updated a lot better than I can tell you.
Let me add to Sarah's question in regard to the hotel. From time to time, people will ask us, Steve, we've got hotels on Garriott, East Garriott, West Garriott. So what's the big deal about the downtown hotel? What would you say to that individual saying, do we really need one more hotel, and why is it downtown? And I try to share with them about the impact on conventions and things of this nature, but how would you address that?
Well, it's very important with our Central National Bank Center and Convention Hall to bring people into Enid. It helps generate sales tax revenue. Sales tax revenue is one of the primary income that we need to run the city of Enid. And the hotel will help gather people to Enid, and the accommodations, a lot of them, we want it to be an end result where they spend the night. You receive sales tax revenue, and you also receive hotel and motel tax revenue. And that part in the downtown area is something that we need to bring people to Enid, and the hospitals will help bring that group of people to Enid, and some of the concerts that we have and the entertainment that we have and the educational areas will bring a lot of people to Enid, generate sales tax revenue and hotel and motel tax revenue.
This is almost a personal, borderline personal question, but when your term expires in a year and a half or so, Mayor, what's next for Mayor Bill Shewey? We know that you're retired from the bank. You're a full-time grandfather and everything. So what's next?
Guess what? The grandkids and family. We are very close, and I look forward to spending as much time, and we spend a lot of time together. So I haven't given it a whole lot of thought. I have another year and a half to go, so I'll do the best I can until I retire.
You often say, or I've heard that you often say, it's a great day in Enid, Oklahoma. When did you start saying this slogan?
I think it happened one day when the Chamber of Commerce had a ribbon cutting for the Enid Event Center, I think when it became the Central National Bank Center. And it was in the spring, maybe early summer, and we had it at 10 o'clock in the morning on the south side of the Enid Event Center, which is now the Central National Bank Center. And it was at least 95 degrees in the shade that day, and we were all sitting outside in chairs with that 95 to 100 degree sun looking down on us. So I decided when I did my welcome that it was going to be short and sweet. And I don't know what caused me to say today is another great day in Enid, Oklahoma, other than it was going to be short and sweet that, that morning because it was hot. Yeah. And so that's what I said, welcome to Enid, Oklahoma. And I looked up and everybody was fanning themselves. And I said, it is a great day in Enid, Oklahoma, but it was about 95 degrees. And I didn't want to be between the audience and the sun pouring down on us, so I made my part of it short and sweet.